facing concerning driving. So driving is very easy, but there are some things you really need to know before you get into driving, because just a minute in driving you can lose your life or you can kill so many people. So the first thing I want us to study this morning, to look at this morning, will be going into what you need to check in your vehicle as far as driving is concerned. So here I will be showing you things you need to check in your vehicle before taking up. In the first video I show you, just I rush over some things to show to you, but today I'm going to take them one after another. So the first thing we need to check is we need to know how to open the bonnet of the car. So the first thing we are going to do is how you can open the bonnet of the car, so that you can go in front of the car and check those things that you need to check. First, when you enter in your car, you hold your steering, then under the steering, as you can see, under the steering you will see this clip. You just need to pull the clip, then you hear the click sound to show you that the bonnet has opened. So when you go in front of the bonnet to open up the bonnet to check the engine and any other thing, you make sure you go into the center of the bonnet. You send your two hands. You just need to send your two hands, then you'll be able, you touch a clip, then you just drop up the clip with your two hands and support the bonnet. Then you use the bonnet supporting stick to support the bonnet. After you have done this, then we now go into the things you need to check. So looking at the structure of the engine, looking at the shape of the engine, looking at the structure. So what I want us to know is where we can put our engine oil and where we can check the oil in the engine, and check also the water in the radiator, and we check our brake fluid. Then we have to also check the steering oil for us to drive with ease. So first of all, looking here, this is the structure of the engine. Here, this is where we put our engine oil. We put our engine oil in this place here. You make sure you put your engine oil there. Okay, secondly, I want to show you where you can check the oil. So how can you check the oil? Yeah, this is what we call the dipstick. This dipstick is used to check the oil in your engine. So before you want to check the oil, you have to make sure that your vehicle has to be on a level place, that is a place that does not have heat, that the vehicle will be straight. Then you have to, the vehicle have to be off. Make sure that the engine is off. Then you use this stick. You just have to use the stick. You first of all, you remove the stick from the engine. You wipe it. After you wipe it, you have to dip it back into the engine. When you dip it back in the engine, you now remove it. Then you look the level at which the oil is. So if you see your oil at the level of L, because the dipstick at the edges it is number, we have L, which is low, O, we have minimum, which is low, we have in the middle, then we have maximum, that is this label F, and it's also label L. F means it is low, F means it is full. Then we also have minimum and we also have maximum. When it is at the minimum, you know that the oil is low, but when it's at maximum, then you know that the oil is okay. So after you have checked the oil, you just have to put back the dipstick, and you make sure that the cover of this engine, you have locked it very well. Those are the things you need to check. First, your oil in the engine. So we have the oil in the engine, and when we put our oil in the engine, the oil go and settle in what we call the sum. So the sum is this part of the engine where our oil settle down into. So this part of the engine, the downer part of the engine, that is the part where the oil settle in it, we call it the sum. I want you to remember that name. We have the sum. The sum is where the oil in the engine settles. We call it the sum. Then the dipstick is the instrument that we use to check the amount of oil in the engine. So take good note of the dipstick. Take good note of the sum. Dipstick is used to measure oil, while the oil is stored in what we call the sum. So driving with that oil in your engine, it's a very risky thing. You don't do that. You don't even try to drive your vehicle without oil. Oil has to be in your engine. If there is no oil in your engine, the engine will get knocked, and when the engine get knocked, you will spend a lot of money to repair the engine. So always take note to check your oil in the engine. That is the first thing you need to know. Always check your oil in the engine before you move with your car. So the oil also have what we call the oil light. The oil light will be on your dashboard. When we are studying light, I will be showing you what the oil light is, and will tell you how to manage your oil in the engine. So guys, thank you for that one. So here today, what we have studied today is how to check the oil in the engine, the things that you need to know. You need to know the dipstick, you need to know the sum. You need to know that when the oil is at minimum, you don't need to go with the car. You need to put back the oil in the engine. And when it is in the middle, you just need to add the oil so that it should be at maximum or full. So you will be meeting so many questions. Comment on that. So if you pick a question or an exam paper to answer, and they ask you a question, what instrument is used to measure the oil in the engine? So what is the answer? What instrument is used to measure the oil in the engine? So the answer is the dipstick. Do not forget the dipstick. Where is oil stored in the engine? The second question they may ask you, where is oil stored in the engine? Oil is stored in the engine in what we call the sum, the under part of the engine. So take good note of those two questions, because you may always meet them. They always come because driving school questions are all multiple choice questions. So you have to select the right answer that corresponds to what they have asked you. The dipstick is used to measure the oil in the engine. The sum is used to store the oil in the engine. So thank you guys for that.